I went down to the river yesterday. I asked a man if he could wash my sins away. He said, Lord, this our river. Me say, y'all.
Hi, I'm David Holsey, the captain of the My Smugly.
And I'm Austin Creekmore, and you might know us from the band New Dynasty.
We'd like to take you on a 1,000-mile adventure from the port of CATOOSA, Oklahoma to New Orleans, Louisiana.
We're going to talk about the history and the building of the Arkansas navigational system, as well as its 50th anniversary.
Let's get started.
Lord, this our river may save your soul. See. Feel me now.
And with that, we were on our way.
Yeah, I was following you in the pouring rain, wondering if this was going to happen. And then we seen the port of CATOOSA. Soon, we were headed to landing 33.
With a short flag ceremony, a salute, some pics with some friends and family, we were backing in. I began backing and backing. Well, I'm still backing. My brother said, are we backing to New Orleans? So I thought I'd circle once. What I was really doing was making sure everything was fine. The boat was looking good, feeling good, sounding good. Yeah, I think she's good looking. Quick checking my gauges. Some advice from my brother. Final big wave. We were on the Vertigus.
With a small trailer fix and a fuel up, Dad and I were on our way too.
On the river that morning, it was simply beautiful. Rain persisted, but we was at Lock 1 before you knew it.
Hey, now that you mentioned Lock 1, that makes me think of that day in 1971 when Senator KERR of Oklahoma and Senator McCLELLAN of Arkansas dedicated the canal with President Nixon.
Let's take a look at that day.
The friendliness of the people here, which you've demonstrated so eloquently today, the beauty of the land that I have seen around us as we flew in on the helicopter, always makes me glad to return to what is Will Rogers' country. Well, this magnificent new port is still a few miles downstream from Oologah, but it's close enough. The idea of an Arkansas River waterway is a foolish dream. But there were others, men like Senator Bob Kerr and John McCLELLAN, who held it as a bold and achievable vision. The completed project that we dedicate today has proved that they were right.
Let's take a ride with the president on that 1971 day and look at the new canal.
And here we are, through lock number 1.
Getting lock number 1 done, we was having a great time. The headwaters from the rain hadn't caught us. We seen a family there was fishing, gave us a big wave. It was feeling so good, we thought we'd just sing us a song.
That's my favorite song.
The rain persisted, but it was just beautiful. Robin took her head at the wheel as we was entering Porter. The fishing in this part of the river is really good for the stripers and the catfish. Before we knew it, we was at Lock 17, one of many. Back on the river, we finally found our first traffic. It was a push tug. It took a while for us to catch him. Eventually we caught him. I'm not sure what the name is. Let's see if I can see it. It's the Jobath Jonish coming into the port of Muskogee. It was our second port in our first day. Around this area, it tends to get a little bigger, more lakeish. Soon we'll be coming up on Weber Falls. Here's our first eagle shot. We had an eagle every morning for the first 5 mornings.
Deaths occur in vehicles. They will experience flash flooding include Okmulgee, Banks, Preston, Ball Hill, Okmulgee State Park, Liberty, Head Torville, turn around.
Here we are at our next lock. Here's a shot at watching the buoys go down. This is what you tied to. It would move several inches a minute. My goodness, we're deep. Look at that.
Basically, we're going to get down and try to see that. Oh, yeah. Boy, this is over.
Wow.
We got balls in that.
We have dropped 40 feet.
Here we are, pulling into Weber Falls. I'm following Dad. As you can see by the beautiful countryside, we're in farm country. Now, Weber Falls is said to be the second oldest town in Indian Territory. It is also the site of a great Civil War battle. May 26, 2002, the I-40 bridge collapse cost 14 people their lives. In honor, they bronzed a piece of the bridge and memorialized the date and the time that it had happened. And we were back on the road heading to Arkansas.
And we were on the KERR Reservoir like an ocean. There's that green buoy. Those buoys become so important later on. After passing this lock, taking a head check of everyone, we was back on our way. Everyone appeared happy, but you could see the water was rising. We hadn't seen nothing yet. Here we are entering Fort Smith, Arkansas. Daryl gave a wave. We've seen our first dredge at work. Soon we was going to stop and take on provisions for the night. Here we are, little dock. Ain't gonna lie to you, last night was quite the night. We got rained on, boy, we got rained on. But they let the water level down, we got beached. We had a heck of a time getting off the beach. We get more rain, but it's turning out to be just a beautiful day. We're here in Arkansas. Here comes Daryl now. We got something to say, Daryl?
This is so beautiful, so awesome. I can't believe it. This is paradise. I'm having the time of my life. Just beautiful. The whole United States we live in.
Woo. After that patriotic moment, the flag check, the safety check, it was time to get clean.
No filthiness on the boat. So,
And that was bathing for the next 7 days. As we passed under this rail bridge, look at the cables and the weights that lifted. This is one of the oldest harbors in this area. Hey Austin, why don't you give us a little history on this area?
Did you know that they kept the waterways navigable in the 1870s from Fort Gibson and Fort Smith, shipping cotton and furs by low draft steamboats to New Orleans?
I'll give us a moment to see what it's like to be on the radio. Block 13, this is the My Smuggling 27 foot. Let's say 13.
I just got that.
This is lock 13, go channel 14.
All right.
This is lock 13.
Yeah, we're heading south. Right here at the arrival point.
Say again.
We're heading downstream right here at the arrival point.
Yeah, as soon as the Joe Beth gets on down past you, you can come in the chamber.
Get for it. Boy, that motor sounds good. The Joe Bass. I wonder if we can ease up and grab onto that rail right there and hold on.
Lock 13, channel 14.
Am I still waiting?
I didn't see you back there.
These locks could be very intimidating.
cowboy.
Cowboy. Cowboy. Keep on going, Dave. Yeah, I'm fucking.
Close up.
I'm one of them other kind of cowboys.
We're good.
There they are, coming out of the lock. As you can see behind them, the water was very turbulent as the river was coming up.
Boy, as the captain, I'll have to second that.
We hollered a few correspondents back and forth, but they decided to carry on.
He was just going to go on a while longer before we would make camp for the night.
Captain Dave just did a fire. Fire. Captain Dave. Captain of the My Smugly.
Good morning, everybody. Just want to show you how beautiful Arkansas is. And there was a lot of beauty in Arkansas. This area was one of the prettiest.
Captain Dave here. Day 3 and 28. We're on Lock 12, I do believe, isn't it? Lock 12. We're getting ready to hit Lock 12. See some beautiful scenery this morning. Weather's great. A little bit of rain last night. River's up 4 feet. We're cruising at 9.76 miles an hour. The water's 81 degrees. Here we are in Arkansas. Talk to you guys in a little bit. Captain Dave out. Captain Dave out.
You could tell we was having fun. Finally seen a little civilization. Lock 12, this is the nice one. We're heading down from. At every lock, you would hear sirens to tell you when the gates were closing or opening or water levels were changing.
Get up prettier than this, guys. Flip yours and just let us ease forward.
There's that anchor point that goes up and down. Back a little bit.
Find me a few guys there. Don't ask them to think of you. I might not give the answer that you want me to. Oh yeah. Sorry I didn't get that guitar tuned for you.
Just as we was having fun, Rich said, "Look, there's some caves," which made us think of the indigenous people and take a moment because this was part of the Trail of Tears. It also helped us realize that this has been an active river for thousands of years, used by the indigenous people for transportation, for resources, as well as the early settlers. This area had been open as transportation since 1842 due to the Rivers and Harbors Act of 1842 to keep it maintained for transportation all the way to Fort Smith and Fort Gibson, which made this canal much older than the 50-year celebration we were celebrating. It was the 4th of July weekend too. We were celebrating our country. So we thought we'd make this sing us a new Dynasty song. Here's the shine.
When that smoke begins to roll, that copper's eyes rip on, and that kid comes out that old country song. You know, down in that bottom, Lord knows that party's just begun. You bring the shine.
before long, we was at Lake Darnell. Well, the weather started getting rough. Our tiny ship was tossed. If not for fearless Captain Dave, the smuggling might have been lost.
Very quiet right now. We have found the rough seas. We've been tested by everything. Rain, weather, high water. I lost my buoy. I've lost my buoy. We're extremely rough water right now. I found my buoy. Just another part of it. Talk to you later. Signing off.
And there it was, the first sighting of that nuclear plant.
I noticed you were looking at the same thing we were. That nuclear plant. And here we are, coming into Lake Darnell in Russellville, Arkansas. And here I'm walking out onto this beautiful pier where the My Smuggly would soon come into dock for dinner. We also took a look in the visitor center at the indigenous fish. And here's a map of where the My Smuggly started into Arkansas, traveled all the way down the canal into Lake Darnell, where we are now. My dad and I were back on the road, and the crew was off.
Day 4. What's this, 5.9? Let me tell you people, the river's getting big. And it's getting ugly. All the rains up in Oklahoma have really got this looking nasty. Kind of concerned.
As you could tell by the buoys laying over and the currents in the water, it was like the Cimarron being at 6 or 7 feet. We dealt with this for the next 2 days.
Buoys are getting hard to find. We're reading the markers and we're following charts.
Where?
We're right here at the David Terry. We just completed this. We're gonna go a little while, look along in here. The next lock is right here. And it'd be 17.
The background noise was the sound of the lock, the buoy going down. But the charts were very important for this trip. If you plan on doing a trip like this, you'll definitely want to bring binoculars and good charts. As rough as the water was and the currents, we couldn't believe it. There was a deer swimming across the river. If you look to the right of the screen, you can see him. We'll slow the film down so you get a better look. It's a good looking buck. In the water, you can see by the green in the water was really up. I believe it was up 8 feet at this point.
And here we are pulling into Toad Suck Lock and Dam.
Oh, I mean on that suck.
This was one of many fuel stops for the My Smuggly.
Here we are, lock number 8. Just outside of Little Rock, I do believe. I'm not sure. I think we're in Conway, Arkansas. Here, pan around. There's some of our people up on the bridge. Our chase team is filming us from up on the bridge.
We filmed a complete view of the whole entire lock, so sit back and enjoy. Look at that water roar. And the gate's closing.
As the captain, I was thinking about that roaring water.
After dropping a few feet, the whistle sounded, and they were off. Here we are, fueling the crew. Let's hear what they have to say.
This is supposed to be educational. For kids.
This is how we get the fuel.
That's how you take a bath.
Pretty close, guys.
That's how you take a bath there. A little splash here, a little splash there, and a little dip.
Captain Dave here. Next stop, North Little Rock, 30 miles. See you there.
After that fuel up, we noticed there was a lot more housing and civilization the closer we got to Little Rock. And in no time, we was at the lock in Little Rock. We noticed 100-foot anaconda in the water. Let's listen in a little bit. Daryl was out front sunbathing. We wasn't but a few moments from downtown. We was in North Little Rock now. Quick check of the gauges.
Captain Dave here, the book charts down. We're entering Little Rock, Arkansas. You see the downtown buildings now. When you get a little closer downtown, we'll show you these buildings. See, it's going good. Having fun.
And that was an understatement. We were all having a blast. We knew it was a trip of a lifetime. We come up on Little Rock. There's the Capitol now. Again, you think of Muskogee and Fort Smith and Little Rock, you don't think of them as port towns, but they're huge port towns. Just look at this barge at work.
Here we are at the camp for the night. My smuggling in the background. Been a long day, 120 miles.
That was a beautiful campsite. There were sandy beaches everywhere, the whole trip, including the Mississippi, you'll see later. Daryl working his butt off, getting some firewood. Ridge fixing dinner. I'm not sure what Robin was fixing. There's good meat there, but what's that in her hand? Here's Wrench and Daryl with a throw net trying to get bait for the night's fishing. Well, let's just let Wrench tell you about his fishing story.
It was dark. I was cooking steaks on the Arkansas River. Had a pole in the water. And humpback blue snatched my pole. And I never seen it again.
Amen.
Amen.
It was a calm night on the Mississippi River. When Lips, the giant catfish, Mississippi blue, come up and started slurping on our outdrive.
I haven't had a bath in days. I'm so tired.
Oh, yeah.
I was lost on the Mississippi. 3 other idiots who followed me into the abyss.
A lot of it was fun and games, but then there were serious moments. Like again, the second nuclear plant. You'll get a glimpse there, and another glimpse here in a moment. It makes you wonder, do we really need these? Here we are around Pine Bluff. In 1900, the barges quit going further than this upstream due to the railroads. There's a huge clamshell crane clearing the canal. The captain honked his horn.
After traveling through crazy roads and farmland,
Storm crops, the fields,
we finally found the My Smuggling.
I'm Officer Corey with Arkansas State Game and Fish, State Game Warden, here in Lincoln County.
After talking to the game warden, they were gone.
Game Warden, Officer Corey from Lincoln County, visited with us. He was the second warden we'd encountered on our trip. He was really polite and visited with us for a while as he finally took off as we skipped our people in to get us gas. As you could see, the currents were really up.
What a morning.
come over and take a picture of the thing. Move it on that side.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going way back now. out there right on the river.
Yeah, man, what a day. God, what a day. Woo, what a day.
Where are you headed?
To a sandbar, a quarter mile that way.
And you're almost to the Mississippi, I hear.
Okay, I'm gonna ride up top with him and dip the tank. Right,
We'll see you there, Cap.
Thank you, guys.
We were out of there, went to that sandbar and spent the night, thinking about that last 20 miles. We didn't know what to expect. The scenery was breathtaking the whole trip. Sandbars, Gilligan's Island here and there, everywhere. Here's where he's fixing breakfast.
Breakfast on the My Smuggler.
Captain Dave here. Well, we're getting into the swamps. We're in the last couple miles before the Mississippi. They say we can find alligators here. We're looking.
We didn't see any alligators, but we did see a real swamp person's house. This is right in the water on a barge.
Dave here, Captain Dave. We're at the Mississippi. We're waiting to get out of the Arkansas like an on-ramp. Two great big barges have just gone by. We haven't even been able to get out on the Mississippi yet. 49 feet of water. It's 11:44 in the morning. 78 degrees in the water. We're gonna power up and see if we can slide out during the middle of it.
Taxi on to the runway.
Captain Dave out.
3 inches. Boy, look at it pour it on now. Wow.
Little did we know we would be encountering those big waves. I'll just tell you in lifetime.
Here we are. We're off the mighty Mississippi River. A lot of traffic. Front end went underwater. Come over a wave with a huge barge. Come out, the whole front end came out of the water. We got about 5 gallons of water in my bed through the window in the front. But we're all right. We're learning quick how to navigate the Mississippi. It's a whole different ball game. We're already up to 100 miles an hour. We're averaging 11.5 to 12.5 miles an hour. Hopefully we'll hook up with Jeffrey and the crew on the road in a little while. We're going to top off. And we really don't know where we're going to make it tonight. Looks like there's lots of places we can tie up though. Everybody out there, we're being safe, we're having fun. You get home, what did you ever expect to do this? This is not just a piece of cake. A lot of underwater structures. You have to know these maps, you read these rivers. You have to get out.
And there was lots of traffic. Here's a steamboat. Isn't that majestic? Everywhere you looked, there was white beaches, sandbars, boats everywhere. Here's the bridge the guys went over the night before. Let's listen to them. Here we are the next morning. On the Mississippi, it was hard to tell where the river was headed. It always looked like it was ending.
We're in a race of our life. We're racing a barge. We're gaining on them. We've been running with them for a while. They are over here.
This barge hauls 8,104 diesel truckloads of grain.
grip some gin.
Love y'all!
Thank you!
Leaving Vicksburg.
Un nobile cavaliere come io ogni tanto possa soffrire, e quel visetto d'oro, quel viso inzuccherato, che a un tifo il cacciavite ha strapazzato.
Ma signore, io gli chiedi parole di spararlo.
Qual parola non vale un zero, voi non siete fatta per essere paesa.
Hey, look at up over there. Looks like the fucking ocean. Here we are.
Some rain.
Here we are, cruising in a rainstorm. We're skirting the outside of the storm. All is well. We're batting down, staying dry. Beautiful weather.
And another nuclear plant.
Gauge is on. Lights on. Outside lights on.
It's turning night.
There's Wrench working the bow. Getting ready to dock for the night.
Beautiful night.
47 feet.
Here I am talking to the captain of the Cybele Faye. We got one booked for tonight in Baton Rouge, but we didn't know if we were going to be able to make it or not, if they were going to make it here in time to fuel up. So my dad thought he might have to stay here. Uh-huh. We do have fuel in the back of our truck. We usually back down the ramp, and it's got a 14-foot hose we can reach out and get to them with. They're on a 27-foot Bayliner cabin cruiser. I know. This one guy said it's pretty deep when it comes up to the shore, but he said there's a few big rocks that are laying along the way.
Here we are coming in. There's Jeffrey in the distance, blinking his lights. We was going to take on fuel and provisions. What an evening. We did this 8 times through the trip, meeting up like this for water and food and fuel. Fuel is a hard thing. Meeting up was a hard thing. It was hard to find spots to meet at. Mississippi was very inaccessible. We'd be here on the beach for the night. The next day we had a meeting about the weather. And nothing was going to stop us. Salute, let's go. And that we did. Man, the traffic was thick.
Morning, everybody. Captain Dave. We're going into Baton Rouge. This is a serious port. Big ships, not just tugs and pushers, but big ships. Little weather on the forecast. We got 123 miles to go to New Orleans. We're gonna go. We're going on. Little weather ain't gonna stop us. We're gonna get cap off the fuel in just a couple minutes, and we're back on the river. It's Captain Day.
There's the Interstate 10 bridge in downtown Baton Rouge. Soon we'd be at Glass Beach to meet Jeff for fuel.
They were booking it coming across Glass Beach. Just watch as they approach.
And the currents were strong that day. We had to almost turn to a 22-degree angle just to get to the truck going straight. We never dropped an anchor. We always tied off with 3 ropes. If the anchor would sink too deep, we probably wouldn't get it out, so we just tied off.
On the ladder. Hands up. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Oh, there's the paper.
Just look at that ship across the way. And the current keeping the boat at an angle.
After fueling the crew, we were headed to New Orleans. As seeing that most of it was driving on bridges. It appeared to be swamp all the way.
We saw ships hauling grain, petroleum products, steel, lots of tugs. We've seen dredges. Dredges have been dredging here since the 1870s. Check the wave at the front of the ship out. It was really about 6 to 8 feet. Here's a crane we watched work the night before. It picked up 2 950 loaders. See the loaders on the deck? The captain honked at us. The ships got bigger and bigger. The closer we got to New Orleans, we knew our trip was coming to an end. We could all feel it. The inside of the Smugly after 9 days.
Almost to New Orleans. I'm almost done it. 1,000 miles. It's a long boat ride.
That was my last broadcast from behind the wheel of the My Smugly as captain. The crew were already in New Orleans having fun. Here's an old abandoned power plant. The Louis Armstrong and the Tin Bridge. We were in New Orleans. While waiting for the bridge to lift to get onto Lake Pontchartrain, we sat there and talked, realized that we had just done a 1,000-mile trip on the Mississippi and the Arkansas Navigational Canal. We stood back for a few moments. Posed for a few good pics. Reflected a little. Daryl did his best Michael Jackson. And we knew our trip was over.
I went down to the river yesterday. I asked a man if he could wash my sins away. He said, Lord, this our river, me save your soul.